Well, hello, Ubitubi. It's your friend and friendly firearms pastor, True Exodus here, coming and doing a review and comparison between the Wilson Combat EDC-X9 and the Wilson Combat EDC9. What's the difference? One's a 2011 double stack 9mm 15 rounds, the other is a single stack 9mm 8 rounds. So, if you're one of those people that are like, stop reviewing guns that cost so much money, you may want to just bypass this video right now. So a couple of really quick stories about Wilson Combat. Awesome people. They sent me a couple of guns. I did not pay for these, so jealousy, let it rain over you now. Now discard that. Yes, the good Lord has blessed me in such a way that I cannot even begin to describe. But I got both of these guns, and I'm not really a 1911 or 2011 guy. I'm trying to be a 2011 guy, but I just don't understand all the detailed intricacies and the hard work that goes into making such fine pistols like Wilson Combat's here. And so I'm going to be speaking from the shooter's perspective about each of these guns. We're going to talk about the reliability that I've had with them. We're going to go through a ugly reliability test with the Wilson Combat EDC-X9, and we're going to talk about their prices. So we're going to do a review and comparison, so if you're on the fence about either which one, this will be a good video to watch. We're also going to be just showcasing both pistols, talking about the shootability, looking at the accuracy, all those different types of things. So, longer video, but it's well worth it. Stay with us. Okay, so the flash comparison of both the EDC9 and the EDC-X9. So the EDC9 has an overall length of 7.6 inches. So from here to here, 7.6 inches. Ideal for concealed carry. It's just got a really shallow pistol grip, so to speak, so you don't have a lot of bulge that's going on. The pistol weighs 39.6 ounces. Unloaded, to give you an idea or comparison, to whereas the EDC9, about the same specs, 7.4 inches all overall, it weighs 29 ounces unloaded. So there's a 10-ounce difference between the two, and when you hold them, they're like, you feel like they're night and day. But what you have to keep in mind is that the EDC9 is all steel frame, where this has an aluminum, the X frame, I believe it's called, the aluminum X frame on this one. So they do feel, even though the EDC9 feels meatier in your hands in comparison to the thinness of the EDC9, even though it feels meatier, it is in fact lighter. So both the EDC9 and the EDC-X9 are guaranteed 1.5 inch groupings at 25 yards. It just shows the quality of barrels that they use, and that's what Wilson Combat is known for, the quality and the precision of what you get in a 1911, 2011 package. So I'm really impressed with these triggers. This is a 2.5 pound trigger, single action trigger that's just amazing. I just love it. I can ring out steel, A-zone steel at 75 yards. Not a problem with this sucker. The EDC-X9 though has a fatter trigger. It's a 4-pound trigger, and this trigger right here, it's just wider. You can get more of your finger on it. It's got really nice grooves on it that just kind of are very sticky to the finger right here. Whereas the EDC9's trigger, it has the same thing, but it feels like it's about 30 or 40% thinner than the other one. So don't really understand that, but it's a lot easier for me to be precise with this gun than it is this gun. We're gonna kind of show you the difference and show you what's going on, and yeah. All right, so we're gonna take the Wilson Combat here at 25 yards, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna superimpose the dot on the actual dot that I see. So I'm gonna have the perfect horizon and the fiber optic, wherever that fiber optic is, I'm gonna hold to perfectly to try to transpose that. We're gonna speed this up, obviously, for time. Okay, so here's our 10 round group at 25 with the Wilson EDC9. We're gonna take this target off, throw up one more, and do a comparison with the EDC-X9. I think you're gonna be interested. All right, so there's the 25 yard grouping with the EDC-X9 versus the EDC9. So obviously had some lows and some lefts. It's probably just because the trigger on this one is just a little bit more, it takes a little bit more to pull it back than say the EDC9 does. So my body doesn't want to react to the shot for the shots taken on the EDC9 versus the EDC-X9. The recoil impulses on both guns are entirely different as well. The EDC9 has more of a thump than a snap. It's probably due to just its weight overall, but the recoil impulse of what it feels like is pretty darn sick. As you can see, just the gun just is like a good dance partner. It's like a good dance partner that you showed up to your first day in class and you've got a really good lead. That's what ballroom dancing feels like. It's like when you go to class and you don't know what you're doing, but you've got a really good lead partner. That's what this feels like when you shoot it. The gun just works very well as you shoot it to keep it on sight and on target. EDC-X9 has more of a snap to it. The front of the muzzle wants to snap a little bit more because the gun is a little lighter. I feel like I have to have a little bit more effort when, thank you Nissan 350Z, that's ruining my video. I feel like I have to have a lot more effort to apply downward pressure to keep it on target, if you will. But the gun's recoil impulse is still fairly nice, and I can't really, I can't really compare it to any polymer guns. It just has a different kind of feel to it. So as you can see, both of these guns are very shootable. The EDC9 is a little bit shootable, more shootable than the EDC-X9 because of the trigger and the weight of this particular gun. But when it comes to the overall like holding on to the gun, it's a little easier to hold on to the EDC-X9 just because of the width of the gun compared to the width of this gun. I venture to say it's not as they're not that far different, but the EDC9 definitely sits in my hands better. Like it has this, it just doesn't feel like a 1911 or 2011, so to speak. I mean, you've got the traditional thumb safety that's there and the beaver tail that presses up against the top of your hand, but when you grip it and hold on to it, the way that the magazines go in and out, this is just does not, it has a different feel than most 2011s. Now, as you all know, I have 8 different 2011s and STIs and all sorts of different 2011s, and this it feels different than all the other ones. But when it comes to reliability, guys, the EDC-X9 outperforms the EDC9 every single day of the week. This gun has super tight tolerances, and when you rack this gun, it feels like, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like God's finger moving through the clouds. It really is just, it's just this beautiful thing. It's like if it were music, it would sound like, I don't know, it would just sound like blues. It just feels so light and so delicate. And at the same time, it feels so sturdy. I don't know how to describe it. You just have to pick one up in your hands and rack it. It's just, it really is a work of art. The EDC-X9, it doesn't quite feel as precise as the EDC-9 does, but I can feel that the tolerances are lower in this particular gun. I'm not saying that it was crappily put together or constructed. I just know that this gun was made to have, you know, to have some elements introduced into it so that it can continue to work. The EDC-X9, I just had a load of problems, or the EDC9 here, I've had a load of problems with when it comes to reliability. Now, at first, once I got to breaking it in right around the 800 round mark, after 800 rounds, this gun just started to, I mean, every single round, the gun started to get hung up. It would just have stovepipes. It would just not want to work. So it couldn't make anywhere close to 2,000 rounds without being cleaned. So I had to take it apart, wipe it down. And basically what I found is that after about every 350 rounds, you have to take this gun apart, you have to wipe it down if you want to carry it and have that reliability. Now, totally different story here with the the EDC-X9. This gun went 1,200 rounds before it saw its first failure. And then I broke it down, wiped it down, and I've not seen a failure from it since. So to give you an idea, I've had 3,500 rounds of the Wilson Combat EDC-X9. I travel with it in classes. I want people to shoot this gun. I've had a little over 3,000 rounds with making this video with the Wilson Combat. So I've had a little bit more experience with the X9 because to me it just seems like a more viable carry option. We got 15 rounds here in a lighter frame as opposed to only 10 round capacity, and it just, to me, it just doesn't make that much sense to pick, you know, this over this unless you live in like California. So the reliability has been great. Both of these guns, by the way, have a ambidextrous thumb safety, but if you notice the slide release on the EDC9 versus the slide release on the EDC-X9. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, that's because the traditional way to reload in 1911, as you all probably know, racks back, and as I insert the magazine, I can come over the top, which is usually what I like to do, but I've been training myself to jam up the mag, come in with a thumb, and then it resume the master grip. Well, with the EDC-X9, let's say you like reloading Glocks and SIGs a lot better, guys, you can reach that, not a problem, without the grip changing very much. If I have short thumbs, but it's still very doable, and if you want to go to the traditional way, it's very easy to find, very easy to index and go from there. I've not found that this, I've not once been holding the gun with my high grip and the slide locked back, halfway through a magazine because I was forcing up or forcing down upon this, and I very rarely have failure to lock backs after the last round is fired. So this is a really interesting feature in design because it seems like it would get in the way, but it really doesn't. Now, before I torture this EDC-X9, I do just kind of want to show you kind of the beauty of it. So you see some holster wear, nice crown to barrel. My kids and my wife in the background, planting in the garden. Perfect life I have. And if you notice, I have the Tier 1 concealed axis. And this axis is it's a really nice holster. In fact, it's so nice that it has a spot for it that you cannot depress the safety. If you have it pressed up against your body and you're wearing it, this will not depress, although you can take this off. But one of the things that I've noticed is that this has come wiggled. I just need to screw it back, but you know, after 3,500 rounds, things are going to start to wiggle apart on screws and whatnot. Just a wonderful holster for this gun. It's kind of my carry setup for carrying a crossbreed holster. So let's destroy it. Okay, so first we're going to do the Indiana sand test, or Indiana dirt test, excuse me. This is just dirt found in here in southern Indiana. Yep. I'm going to hell. See if it racks. It does not. Let's see if it shoots. Nearly flawless. Nearly flawless. That was amazing. Now, I will tell you that I went to a class with Instructor Zero, and there's a guy who had a Wilson Combat EDC-X9 before I had gotten a hold of it. And so I was really intrigued about the gun, and one of the parts of the class, there was like basically durability and reliability tests where they Zero came around and poured water on all the guns, and he poured sand and dirt and nasties all over the gun, and the gun worked very well. So if I didn't have to rack that, but I liked keeping it, I like keeping it real, so it is what it is. Let's go straight to the sand test. Now this is finer sand found here in the area. I know it doesn't look like it straight off, but it most certainly is. This is gonna be the downfall of it for sure. Like I said, if I did not have to rack it, it would, I'm sure it would work, but oh my gosh. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that just happened. That is phenomenal. Let us keep it going. Let us keep it going. Okay, so, oh my gosh, this gun is working. So that guy's gun at Zero's class didn't have any problems at all. And it made me happy about it because, well, I didn't see that it didn't have any problems. I asked him. I was like, hey, does it have any problems? He's like, no, it worked great. Well, that's what you would say if you'd spent $2,900 on a pistol and it decided not to work. All the bubbles set. I could make a baptism reference right now, but instead, let's just shoot this gun. So that felt really good. Okay, so I didn't want to lock back on the last round, but neither here nor there. That freaking worked. That was amazing. Okay, my mind is literally just blown. I did not think it was going to perform that well. I'm at a loss for words right now. Okay, so that's amazing. There's nothing else I can say about that. That is freaking amazing. Now you're probably asking yourself, why don't I do that same test with the EDC9? Well, I can tell you right now, it ain't gonna happen. And the reason why is this is a $3,700 pistol. I'm not I'm not that crazy, but even that, I mean, to be quite honest with you, this gun will malfunction if it's not lubricated properly. So if I throw it in dirt, sand, water, the gun's not, it's just gonna, ugh. It doesn't even like certain ammo. So really, it's just like, it doesn't like, what is it? The Lehigh Defense, extreme defense rounds. They look like, what are they called? Phillips head screwdrivers, that's what they look like. And it won't even work with those. It'll get, stuck on the feed ramp because of the particular design. So this gun, while it performs really, really well, it's not gonna be my #1 reliable choice when it comes to carrying a firearm. In fact, this is gonna be like, it's just not, I'm not gonna carry the gun and think reliability when I carry that. However, with this EDC-X9, it is clear, it is abundantly clear that Wilson Combat made this for people to carry and for it to go through use and rugged use. So that's cool. I'm gonna have to take this to a gunsmith now and have them clean it and spend like $50 to have them clean it, because I just don't know anything about the internal workings. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, I've never broken a 1911 or 2011 down to sheer components alone, so I'll probably stick around with that gunsmith just to learn some stuff. But as you can see, the gun performed flawlessly, but as it started, you can feel that just have a lot more grit and grime in the firing pin and everything like that. So it's going to be having to be taken down and meticulously worked over. So guys, when it comes down to it, Barrett, where are you going to put your money? I'm going to put my money with a Wilson Combat EDC-X9 after seeing that, after seeing the amount of reliability that this gun has. It's phenomenal. Now, to let you know, there is a huge price difference in this. Wilson Combat EDC9, that single stack 9mm of 10 rounds, this costs $3,700, $3,695. This EDC-X9 costs $2,900 at $2,895. Like 15 or 5 more rounds, much more reliable. I'm just incredibly pleased with this handgun. This is definitely going to be one of my top choices. This and the Costa Ludus VIP from STI are going to be my top choices of carrying a particular gun that's a 1911 platform in 9mm. It's just that. I'm just so pleased with the testing that just came out from that. That's really cool and should give you a lot of confidence as well. So undoubtedly, the question that's going to be asked is, Barrett, is it worth me spending this amount of money for this particular handgun when I can spend $500 on a Glock? guys, you got to understand something. This is not the first handgun purchase you're going to make. You know, the EDC or EDC-X9 are not going to be the first handguns you decide you want to purchase. These are people who are hardcore into shooting, who understand and can appreciate the dollar amounts that goes into these guns, because these guns are hand fitted, they're handmade. These guns just undergo so much personal human attention that it's just, they need, they have to charge that much. It's just not just a name, but it's also the reliability that you're getting and the performance that you're getting with the guns. So once you learn how to shoot and you can shoot really well, these are really good options. People are going to ask how you carry these. Well, I typically carry this in the 4 o'clock conversion of like a crossbreed super tuck at the 4 o'clock. You can also carry these as appendix. Now, as soon as I get one of these, the safety side taken off, I'll feel a lot more comfortable carrying this appendix. But getting a good holster, if you see, getting a good holster where the safety will not depress in the actual holster itself is a very good comfort, because you know this is a single stage, or this is a single action gun. The only thing that this trigger is designed to press, and that hammer is supposed to fall. I mean, that's the only thing. So there's no like drop safety measures or anything like that that you have with other guns. But what you make up with that stuff, you make up for just sheer raw trigger pull. That's just, you know, allows the gun to be able to function very, very beautifully. So I definitely recommend the Aegis right here, or the Axis for either guns. Both of them are great, and they've got the great safety feature there that you can ask for. Both have great retention, but understand, but using Kydex is going to put more holster wear upon your gun, so that's a trade-off. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this overlook and review and comparison of both the guns. Again, I want to apologize for my supreme lack of knowledge when it comes to both of the firearms, but as you can see, the guns, I just tell you if the guns shoot great and if they're reliable or not. These guns are amazingly shooting guns. They're well worth the price, in my opinion, that if I had to purchase these and I knew what I was getting, I totally would, especially the EDC-X9. Just a phenomenal shooting gun, and I'm just really impressed with its overall reliability, durability, the sex appeal to it, its aesthetics, all those different types of things, and of course its features as well. Guys, you can check out Wilson Combat and their website for more information and specs, and people who've been doing this a lot longer. Go check out their reviews, because they're a whole lot smarter than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially if you're a new 2011 or 1911 shooter. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute blast sharing with you guys. I love hitting the target when I do. I love these guns. They're fantastic guns. Look into them. Allow this review to be kind of something that helps maybe push you in one way or another, whether to buy or not to buy. But either way, information is information. Hold fast, stay the course. True Exodus out.